Well, a Texas man is recovering today after surviving a wildfire that killed 2 other people. A young woman and her toddler died when flames destroyed their home not far from the Louisiana border. It's just one of dozens of fires that are raging in that state. NBC's Jay Gray is live in Bastrop, Texas, where more than 6,000 acres have been scorched across that county. So, Jay, bring us up to speed. What's the latest?
Yeah, Thomas, and the latest is not good. I can update all of those numbers for you. Let's start with the fact that the Texas Forestry Service says on Sunday alone, firefighters were dealing with 56 new wildfires across the state. That does not include the dozens they were already fighting. One of the worst is here in Bastrop. And understand that more than 300 homes reportedly have been destroyed in this fire. More than 16,000 acres now, up from that 6,000 you talk about, have been charred at this point, and the fire is still raging out of control. You've been talking all morning about the results of Lee and all of the rain. Nowhere did they need that rain more than here in Texas, which has been under extreme drought conditions. Unfortunately, all they are getting from Lee here is strong winds, gusts up to 40 miles an hour, pushing the flames across this state and making it impossible for crews to really contain or get control of the fires. You talked about a young mom and her toddler killed when they could not escape a wall of fire that swallowed their home in East Texas. And the Forestry Service tells us that the resources to fight these fires are already pushed past their limits in the state, Thomas. They have put out a public appeal for any and all firefighters who are able to come and help fight these fires to please come immediately to help out with the situation here that's going to continue, we're told, for several days, Thomas.
And Jay, as we can see, the winds are moving the brush, the bushes behind you. Is that the biggest concern, the winds, how fast they can push these wildfires?
Yeah, how fast they're pushing the fires, Thomas, and that they are changing on occasion and whipping around, and they're really unpredictable. And the problem is these teams that get in and fight the fires can't really get in harm's way with the winds blowing as strong as they are at times here. Again, gusts up to 40 miles an hour. So basically what they've got to do is try and douse the areas where they believe this fire is jumping around, but also make sure that they're safe to fight this fire when the winds die down a bit.
Jay Gray in Bastrop, Texas for us this morning. Jay, thanks so much.
Texas is burning. Update. A massive wildfire has destroyed more than 1,000 homes in central Texas and forced thousands of residents to evacuate to shelters to avoid the blaze, officials say. Devastating Texas wildfires out of control, said Governor Rick Perry, who cut short a presidential campaign trip to South Carolina to return to help oversee firefighting efforts in Texas. He told NBC's Today that the fires were a long way from being under control and described the effect on people who had lost their homes as devastating. A Texas Forest Service spokeswoman said it is too early to say how much progress was made fighting the wildfire in Bastrop County overnight, but that there were no winds early Tuesday. The fire covered at least 25,000 acres. It was a tough fire that was raging through rugged terrain, including a ridge of hills. You can still see the hills glowing quite a bit, she said. At least 5,000 people were forced from their homes in Bastrop County, some 25 miles east of Austin, the state capital, and another 400 were in emergency shelters, officials said. School and school-related activities were canceled. Also, approximately 8,000 people had been evacuated from their homes in the Magnolia area in Montgomery County, citing fire officials. At least 50 homes and 1 fire truck had burned. Governor Perry told Today that more than 50 large fires were burning across the state, up from somewhere in the 30s the previous day. This number included only those blazes being dealt with by federal and state authorities, not numerous smaller fires handled by local fire departments, he added. For those families who have lost everything they had, homes, possessions, etc., it has been devastating for them. We're getting our people out of the way of these fires, and that's the most important thing. Obviously, we'll be dealing with the tragedy here for some time to come, he said. These were some of the most destructive fires of the year for a state that has had more than 3 million acres burned, said the state emergency management chief. And the state of Texas is in a historic drought, which is getting worse day by day. Meanwhile, the East Coast is drowning with record-breaking floods, and many homes and businesses are being lost. In other words, climate change is real. It's happening right now. And the United States of America is in a lot of trouble. This too is another physical manifestation of the book of Revelation. These are more signs of the end times, transition days, which is a continuing day-by-day process of extraordinary changes, happenings, and events. Everything that must change quickly or rapidly, and for the better, because it's about what kind of world are we leaving to the future generations. Hebrews chapter 6, verse 7. For the earth which drinks in the rain that comes often upon it, and brings forth herbs and plants meant for them by whom it is dressed, receives blessing from God. 8. But that which bears thorns and briars is rejected, and is near unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past, and, behold, the third woe comes quickly. 15. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven, saying, The nations of this world are becoming the nations of our Lord and of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever. It's time for all prophecy to be fulfilled. The book of Revelation is happening right now. It's being fulfilled rapidly. Remember, everything is connected, and everything is numbered, and it's also called fate or destiny, and these are more signs.